Hi everyone, my name is Nico Ruffato. I start by showing you the before and after, and then walk you through a complete start to finish workflow focused on building color contrast and mood in a landscape photography. This is not a slow step-by-step tutorial, so technique and tools are assumed knowledge. And the goal is to show how I think and work through the image as a whole. If you like to follow along, you can download the image used in this tutorial. You'll find the link in the description. In this case, however, the colors are quite muted. The image feels flat and it lacks impact. The main goal here is to bring the image to life by building color contrast, especially between the rocks, the sky, and water, and by improving the overall contrast and depth of the scene. I do the main development in Lightroom and then move to Photoshop for the final editing, using the TK9 version 3 panel as my only plugin. Let's get started. The first step in Lightroom is to assign the color profile. I go on a basic panel. Here I have this drop menu and I choose Adobe Neutral. If you don't find Adobe Neutral, you have to go on Browse, and here in Adobe Raw, you can find Adobe Pro Neutral here. You have to enable this little star and close. When you close, you find this in your menu here. With Adobe Neutral, I have a really flat image, really similar to linear profile. I prefer this kind of profiles because I work better in post-production. Now I go on the basic panel to set the adjustment. For this, I keep out the highlights, minus 100. I raise a little bit shadow, black. So I have an image very soft, white, yes. My histogram is okay. I bring up the texture and the clarity. In this way, I have a little bit contrast. Then I go on the mask panel. Here I bring the selection of the sky, subtract linear gradient in this way. Okay, and I bring the exposure a little bit down. It's possible to correct some spot that's in this way. I don't know if there are other spots we can fix in Lightroom. For this, I can hold down Shift key and click here, so I can sort out the AI mode. Now I come back on the masks, and here I bring a select object. I have to be sure with this tool. I select this rock here, okay, and I open a little bit the exposure. Now in color mixer, in saturation, I bring up the red, not too much, okay, the blue, maybe less, and magenta, a little more up, okay. On detail, 0 amount, because I do the details in Photoshop. And on the calibration panel, I go to bring up the saturation of the blue primary a little bit up, plus 19, it's okay. And this is a before and after development in Lightroom. Is a subtle development, but is quite good for the editing in Photoshop. So let's start in editing for Photoshop. Right-click, editing in Photoshop 2026. Before we continue, just a quick reminder. If you are interested in Tony Kuyper's tool or training content, you can use the code NICO15 to get 15% off across the entire store. This includes all the Sean Bagshaw's training videos, the TK9 version 3 panel, and the new TK Grayscale plugin. You'll find all the links in the description below. let's move to Photoshop for the editing. As a first step in Photoshop, I want to create a balance, a contrast between the sky and the foreground. For this, I use the action of David Tillett that you can find in TK9 version 3. I click the action, and this creates a double curve, but in reality is a color grade tool, and the sky and foreground masks in the channels. I start in the foreground, I take the middle tones, and I open the midtones, I close the shadows, okay? I go on the sky with the midtones, I bring down the sky in this way and the shadow too. In this way, I have the sky more dramatic. The second step is to create a selection and a mask of the section of the images, for example, the rocks, the water, so I can adjust them in a separate way. For doing this, I take the TK selection brush, a free plugin of Tony Kuyper, and I go to take this selection here. I push again this tool. Okay, for add these rocks, I can push the button again, and now I add the selection. These rocks too. I go here and here. Now I have all the rocks selected, and now I can save like rocks. All right. Now I want to have the selection of the water. For doing this, it's quite easy. I can go on my channel. I take foreground, calculator, minus, my channels, rocks, this is equal. Okay. I can fix this imperfection, opacity 100% in this way, okay. Perfect. Now I have the water. I can do better here. I take the dodge brush in this way is really better. Okay, perfect. Now I can save as water. I can close this window. So in the channel, I have the selection of better the sky, the masks of the sky, the foreground, the rocks, and the water. Let's continue. In the next step, I want to add some color on the sky and on the water. For doing this, I take the selection of the water. For doing this, I click with hold down the command or control key here. I have the selection of the water, and I create a color grading tool. Perfect. Now I take the midtones and add some color on the water. I tried before. If you want, you can put in this field this alphanumeric number 6A7680, and you have the same color. Same thing for the sky. I take the selection, or I can create a new color grading. Go on the calculator of 6 panel. I select the sky, click on the square, and here, as before, with the midtone, I add some blue. In this case, the number is 667880, and you have my own colors. This is before and this is after. Now I've created a little contrast, color contrast between the sky, water, and the rocks. Now I want to bring down the exposure of the water. I prefer in this way, before and after. Yes, this is okay for me. In the TK action, I take the paint contrast. So this way I can sample this color. I put brighter and more saturation, and with a brush about 20%, not too much, I can paint 10% is better. I can paint on these rocks, and I choose now this color. I make the color lighter and more saturated. I go here, here, and at this point. Okay, this is before and after. Before and after. I'm noticing that these rocks are too much brighter for my taste. For this, I take the decay selection brush. I'm doing the selection of this part. Okay. I take the lasso tool with the shift key hold down, and I have the selection. I put this on a curve, and I bring down the exposure. Okay. In Edit Blend If, I go to use the mid-tone 2, mid-tone 3 to protect dark and light areas of these rocks. So this is before and after. I prefer, I can bring down another bit. Now is perfect. I'm seeing that in these edges there are some halo. For fix this problem, I create an empty level. Okay, I put the name halos, and I take the selection of the sky, goes away this, and now with the stamp tool or with the brush, in this case stamp tool, I think is better. Okay, align or layer, it's okay. I go to pass before I have to sample just near the halo. I do this. The selection is working on only on the sky, so it's not possible to paint or sample into the rocks. Okay, okay, okay. Another sample, and I think that is okay. Is not perfect here. Okay, for this I take a brush. Brush 50%, for example. I sample here, sample. This way I can put away some inaccuracies that I created before with the stamp tool. Here, for example, okay. So in this way I am really precise with this technique. Okay, here, and this is okay, in my opinion. Maybe here I can be better. Here. Okay. It's important to take the sample more time as possible. Okay. Now it's okay. This is before and after. Okay. We don't have any halo. Okay. This is perfect. And now I really like. Now I want to create a sky more dramatic. For doing this, go away the selection. I'll work with luminosity masks. For example, I create an burn level, and in this way I go to select some darks. Darks 2 is okay. I create a selection of these mask. The opacity I set to 10%, and I go to paint. In reality, I am clicking on the sky, on the clouds. Yeah, in this way, they are really, really dramatic. Yes, but I want to apply this only on the sky, so I go on the calculator on the 6 panel. I select the sky, this button, I have this result only on the sky. Now I start with a special effect. I create a screen curve with I hold down the shift key and push the screen. In this way, I take with the G key a gradient. I choose the white to transparent, and I take this tool. Now I create this gradient. Yes, it's okay. With the calculator, I take away the rocks. Yes, I put down the opacity with the TK Opacity Plus is another free tool of Tony Kuyper. Here, okay. And now with a black brush, I go with 30% in freehand. I go take away this part. And now this is the effect. Yes, a sort of fog on the horizon. I really like. Now with the hue saturation level, I want to improve the colors of the rocks. I take the hand, for example, click, and now I can bring up the red in this case. I want take this color is a yellow, okay, and this is before and after, before and after. Okay, now I can continue with the special effect. I go on the workflow extra. I take camera raw Orton of Nick Page. I really like this effect of Nick. Okay, for the first step. And here, when I am in a camera raw filter, I prefer in this case to set the temperature on 0. I don't want to create a warm color cast on the image. This is before and this is after. I can bring up the opacity, 30% is okay, in my opinion. Perfect. I'm noticing that the sky, the water is too much bright. For this, I take the selection of the sky and the water. For doing this, I hold down the Control or Command click in the sky, Command Control click and Shift click on the water. I have the selection, the sky and the water. I put them on a curve and I can bring down the exposure. This is the effect. It's all right, perfect. We are reaching the final steps. I start with the camera raw filter. Here I want to create some details on the rocks. For do this, I go on the effect. I bring up the texture and the clarity for this. Okay, we can see the result before and after. Yes, he is perfect on the whole image, I think. Yes, I like. And now the vignette. For this, I go on the TK action, vignette. It's okay. Go on the edit blend diff and I protect the shadow in this way. Okay. I close the windows. I take the black brush. I don't want the vignette here. Okay, before and after, before and after. And now we are arriving on the final image. Before and after, before and after. I hope you found it useful and enjoyable. If you like to see more videos like this, consider subscribing the channel. You can also join my newsletter through my website to stay updated. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching and I see you next time.